Are you tired of feeders ruining your games in League? SkillCapped is an instructional site that will help you carry so hard it won't matter. With new video guides every single day, I highly recommend you give it a shot. Check out skillcapped.com today.
Intelligent ban, when you see counter picks being taken away, that does kind of lead you in that direction. Still, Aurelia on the table for Lorlo is something that he is fantastic at. And we've seen Impact be playing a lot of Aurelia himself lately, as well as the Gnar. And for me, Impact has really been stepping up these last couple of weeks. He has been coming into his own, not only on these tank picks, but he's been making big plays on these aggressive champions such as Aurelia.
Right, he was super good yesterday. I think he got, what, player of the game in both their wins in the series. So
last week he got picked up a couple, I think, on Aurelia too. He did some very nice plays, so he's been on fire.
And this is a player who, by his own admission, said, I'm letting my team down. I'm not doing as well as I should be. Impact was very disappointed in his own performance. And if C9 have an Impact who's like back to old form Impact, that's a really, really scary team, because you know the rest of these guys are playing exceptionally and is a real team that can threaten in the playoffs.
It definitely makes it exceptionally hard to play around them, because there's not a lot of teams in the league that really have legitimate threats in all lanes. And this is a team that has that. When Impact is on, you have Jensen, one of the top mid laners in the league. Sneaky has always been a rock for C9 in the bot lane, and Meteos has been playing very well. So, you know, with Impact stepping up, it gives so many options to the junglers. You can pick and choose wherever you want to go, how you want to play the game, and it makes it much more difficult for their opponents to adapt in both pick and ban and as far as just straight up play.
Absolutely. Now, this is kind of weird, though. I don't really like Cloud9's third ban. You're talking about Impact and having some very good Aurelia performances before. What's interesting is normally blue side ends up blind picking a top laner at some point, and that blind pick ends up being Gnar.
Yeah.
With the Aurelia ban, it means C9 can blind pick Gnar. Okay, that's cool. And I guess then it lines up in that regard, like they're going for this. So
yeah, I think this is the idea. Is simply,
it makes sense now.
You cannot
I get it.
first pick the Gnar. It's not high enough priority for that. But first round, second, third pick, sure, we can take that. We can have that advantage in the top lane and try to carve it out in that way. So
yeah,
you know, a lot is going to come down to how Lorlo is going to respond. One reason that I don't love it, and I think it is still solid, but you know, an argument against the devil's advocate, if you will, is that Lorlo is fantastic on Trundle. Trundle's still available. A lot of teams even ban this guy out on it,
right?
And he has proven to be a fantastic Trundle player, very strong in the top lane, and Trundle can work very well with high impact early junglers, such as the ones that Dardoch likes to play, to kind of pick on Gnar, because you know that pillar, if you time it properly, can actually interrupt Gnar's jump. That can make it very difficult, but either way, we have Phoenix on the Cassiopeia, and that was what was massive in the series yesterday against Apex. Actually, all the games Cassiopeia's team won. So the one game that TL had it, they won. The other two games where Keen had it, Apex won, and it has been coming up big.
Yeah, and of course, Liquid has plenty of movement speed to supplement to that champion, so it could look really good for these guys. And yeah, ultimately, I guess if Cloud9 are willing to just blind pick their Gnar with the counter pick gone, now they can also save mid lane counter pick for whatever they want it. They could, of course, want to rush Cassio, so C9 should be getting good matchups on both solo lanes, unless we do see that Trundle plus aggressive jungler come out. There's, of course, the chance for Lola to make that work. C9 has to round out most of their comp now. The question is, when do they pick the mid to see what else is in?
Yeah, I'm guessing that they are going to leave it for last pick here. One thing they have to be a little bit worried about, though, if you're going to pick Ashe here in this rotation with a couple picks still available for TL, is their jungler still up. Hecarim has been very popular lately, and Hecarim is fantastic into that Ashe. So, you know, are they actually going to make a move and try to put Dardoch on this Hecarim, see if he can pick on Sneaky and really kind of take advantage of that? I'm interested to see, and also Sona coming through for Matt. They did pick yesterday. They actually tried to really kind of get a very advantageous 2v2, even indexing for lane with Ignite on Matt. It backfired for them because of a fantastic early gank from Shrimp, but you know, it's still a very strong laner, and Sona into that Alistar should really give the advantage in the early laning phase to TL.
Okay, we'll see if it looks good, because yeah, definitely, I think Sona, one of the very, very best supports right now in League of Legends. The only support ban right now being the Karma, and that was picked second round blue side, right? Pretty early on here.
Yeah.
Great laner, or at least a solid laner.
Oh,
whoa! Echo Sejuani. This is the team fightiest of team fight teams, though.
Yeah, look at all the AoE stuns they have. Just even looking down the board, you have Sona with an AoE stun ultimate. You have Phoenix. You know, that ultimate can be chained up in CC as well. You have an AoE stun on Sejuani. You have AoE stun on Echo. So the plan here is very clearly team fight, layer these CCs. If you can catch one big AoE stun, everyone else will be able to follow up after that. And it's likely that C9 will not get a chance to move, so it's going to be so dangerous for Sneaky. He's going to have to play this very carefully and utilize that beefy front line that they have drafted for to keep him safe.
Right, 3 tanks for Cloud9. The question is, how safe can the backline be? And the casual Teemo hover to make sure everyone knows what's going on in the world of League of Legends today, but oh, the Vel'Koz can come back through.
Oh,
yeah,
baby,
so
we were talking about this earlier.
Another Vel'Koz, 2 in a row for Jensen.
I like it. I had the opportunity to talk a little bit about this pick with Jensen, a week or 2 ago, and it's something that I firmly believe is a very, very strong pick and will be rising in priority in competitive play. The true damage you can get with that passive is extremely strong, and the fact that it's stacked with your ultimate now is very, very powerful. He too will have to play extremely safe, but if he can stay safe, have his front line absorb that initiation, and then return fire kind of, with the ultimate, with his poke, it's going to be very hard for these guys to live through that. So high barrier of execution here, I think, for C9 with both Ashe and Vel'Koz. If they get caught by these stuns, they will not live to move.
Absolutely not. So the question is, can they get away from it? Vel'Koz, of course, is running Cleanse. Jensen does not want to be caught out by that layered CC and can hope to retreat. And you expect that Sneaky's Ashe at some point is going to be grabbing a Quicksilver Sash to not die. You probably see 2 to 3 sets of Merc Treads this game as well in the tanks. Like it's about withstanding an incredibly strong team fight squad, which is going to be difficult to do.
Yeah, it certainly will, and I think that both Mikhails and Lockett are going to be, exceptionally important for Smoothie. And Mikhails maybe not exactly what you always want to build on Alistar, but I think with this much CC, you kind of need it.
Well, we'll see what happens. We are getting ready to go into game 1 of our match here, and let's get ourselves into Summoner's Rift with a fan vote. Hashtag TL win, hashtag C9. Let us know who it's going to be, but we are getting ourselves into game 1 of this match. 3rd place versus 5th place in the regular season standings. Duking it out right for the playoffs.
I am very excited for this one. Has been a great weekend as far as new picks and people finally feeling a little bit safer to experiment and move some pieces around here. And I think part of that is because they have secured some playoff spots. They want to experiment. They want to say, how well will this work in a competitive game against one of the best teams? And I love to see it. Sejuani had been a mainstay for a while in competitive play, but really has fallen out of favor. And a lot of that is because the early game, you do not match up super well against some of these other champions. But if you can power farm to 6, if you can get out there with that, the team fight impact is massive.
Yeah, I know talking to a few top junglers, I remember actually I went back and watched the jungle stream with Kobe featuring Acadian, and I'm blanking on the other jungler that he brought out here. But they were talking about it was Crumbs. Yeah, it was Crumbs. Hi, Crumbs. I know you're maybe hearing me, but I forgot about you. Either way, they're talking about, playing some of these slower clearing tank junglers. Say, yeah, you run out of health a lot. If you get invaded on, you have to give up your buffs. Compared to someone like Rek'Sai in Italy, who clears fast and is full health all the time. So the question is, yes, does Dardoch get punished?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the penalty here. And right now, it looks like it's not even going to be the case. We have standard lanes here. And that means you're very unlikely to really see Meteos pick a fight here because I don't think he's going to be able to find Dardoch easily. It's not even deep wards to track the jungle start.
Yeah, I think a lot of it also depends on how the lanes are going. If your laners have pressure and are shoving in their opponents to the turret, gives you more ability to kind of get aggressive there and go start sneaking around and trying to push him off some of the buffs. But he's going to get a nice leash here from Lorlo. Going to be starting over on this blue buff, and that means that he won't have problems with mana in this first clear, and we'll see how well he's able to pull it off and what Meteos is able to get done, because the fact of the matter is, even if you can't necessarily pressure someone in their jungle, you can take advantages simply through gank pressure. If you can execute on early ganks, get your laners ahead, by the time Dardoch is 6, maybe his team's too far behind.
Absolutely, and you can see Dardoch's jungle pathing actually, he's leaving the Grom up. He considers it a bit too hard to kill for Sejuani, even though the smite benefit would help him, of course, with the extra damage output it gives. He's doing blue into Wolves and getting into the bot side, probably to make sure partially that his blue buff and red buff don't get stolen away by potential counter jungling.
It's also a really smart path, and you can tell he's actually put some thought into it, has practiced this a bit, because Sejuani excels at AoE camps.
Right.
You can actually clear these AoE camps very easily, but the Gromp is by far the worst one, the hardest one for her to do. So, if you do this kind of a clear, you do blue, wolves, wraiths, red, you can base and you can be able to have enough gold to kind of keep yourself going for the rest of the game. Even get a Hunter's Potion if you're kind of indexing on that HP early.
And to keep in mind that thought as well as we look at the mid lane matchup, Dardoch, when taking the Raptors down, had W and E and auto attack each small Raptors once because he needed that much damage to kill them off. Anytime you're a jungler killing the Raptor camp, the small ones have much more damage than health compared to the big one. You actually want to get rid of them as fast as you can to save your own health bar.
Yeah.
And now Dardoch, even though he's under a hawk shot and C9 knows where he is, has managed to take 4 camps. And that's not too bad.
No, not at all. And I mean, he's right there with Meteos as far as that clear goes. You know, Meteos did take an extra camp, is leaving the blue up to give over to Jensen here eventually, and is looking towards mid. And this is where he may be able to try to get some of these advantages. You know, as Phoenix, if he gets caught, they can follow up with that CC.
All right, going for the gank. Can't flash just yet. Now here comes the Ghost run away, and Phoenix will lose a moderate duration cooldown and a couple CS. But he's otherwise okay and still has flash up for the repeat gank.
He certainly does, but flash may not matter if you get caught by that knockup because Jensen can follow it up with his stun. If you can layer enough of that in there, could be huge, but going to be...
It's funny, Meteos actually was burrowed, so we had no idea he was running through the scuttle vision. And then he goes into it, and they're like, oh, well, we know Rek'Sai's topside. Not a big surprise once he left the gank that way, but right now, actually, the junglers are equal in camps. Well, actually, slightly ahead. Basically, Dardoch is half a camp ahead as tax for Meteos going for that earlier gank. Otherwise, they're close to equal. And we watch the bot lane now as they're close to the same as well. Almost identical, actually, for these two marksmen here. So a pretty safe early game for Liquid, again, with the sort of much lower tier list jungler. Normally where the tax is actually in the early game. The early game has so far been okay.
Yeah, the fact that Sneaky and Smoothie are doing fine here in the bot lane is good for them too, because they're not getting poked out. And, you know, moving forward, as the Sona, as you do get higher on the levels, you actually have to be very scared. And you can see both supports have Ignite, so they have the potential for, you know, aggressive plays. And while Smoothie cannot poke Matt out, he can easily all in a Sona, right? This is something where you have to be very scared as Matt. If you get caught by that Q flash, knocked into your team with the Ignite, heal's not going to do much for you.
Yeah, it's kind of the important thing to talk about with matchups like this, and really any laning phase, is damage scales faster than durability in the early game. Right? Your abilities almost double in damage when you rank them up once. Your health doesn't double when you level up to level 2. So definitely something to keep in mind, the fact that as time goes on, Matt is under more danger, and his goal was to land enough poke that was never going to be an option for C9, but it is. The mana bars and health bars are not bad for C9's duo. We may see some action a bit later on. Matt getting a bit low on mana, has 1 potion left.
Yep. A great first base here, honestly. And Smoothie, I'm not sure why he's kind of hanging around. I guess maybe just didn't have a buy.
XP.
He's going to get some XP, so pretty cool. But yeah, the first back here for Dardoch, he's able to get his Chilling Smite. He's able to get his Hunter's Potion and some boots. And with this, you really can just keep going infinitely. And the fact that he has not been challenged in his jungle, and although Meteos got a Summoner, they haven't been able to capitalize on that, means that it's a successful early game here for Dardoch. And he's going to be feeling pretty good about it. And as he gets 6, you're going to have to see these guys be very careful.
Yep. Hunter's Potion. This.
Ooh, he's sneaking around here.
Here
They're pretty far up in the lane. This could be dangerous.
No vision at all. Here comes the retreat. Fabi's got to get away from this one. Spell Shield does not come down into the flash combo. Fabi's just going to get blasted. There's first blood. Nicely played by C9. Outplaying the Spell Shield very well. Fabi never even flashed away.
Yeah, no chance for him. I think he was actually right to not use the flash once he got caught by the combo. So would have had to early flash there to have any chance of getting away. Makes the mistake, though. It will be first blood over here to Meteos, and it's just TL way too far up. They only have the 1 ward. Meteos with a good path here. Fabi's trying to hold that spell shield. A nice CC chain there comes in from Smoothie, and they're able to pick it up. And too little too late with the spell shield at the end there. Would have been nice for it to go over to Sneaky, but still gives Meteos that jump start, and we have seen him take over quite a few games as a jungler. So.
Honestly, a really strange mistake by Fabi, though. Meteos did not even flash to get into range for the unburrow, and he prey secret over the wall, so he had warning and everything, and just misses it. But now Lorlo in a battle with Impact. Lorlo has to ult away to not get killed off. Yeah, a great trade by Impact, but keep in mind that it just took an ulti cooldown, and Lorlo's health was fine again.
And it was actually really close to being pretty bad for Impact, because he was on the very edge of that parallel convergence, and had he got tagged by that, would have actually been stunned up. Lorlo would have gotten the shield, so it would have been very bad for him. And now good ward timing there from Impact may potentially keep him safe, but Dardoch is looking for the wraparound. He is 6. This could spell trouble for Impact, but he smells it.
Impact is mini Gnar and running away a little bit, and then his nose stops working. Here comes the Q ulti. That's going to be a nice flash. And Impact is now down a cooldown, but hey, a trade of cooldowns at least.
Yep, it is that trade of cooldowns, and the rank 1 ulti on Sejuani is very long. It's like 2 minutes, so although it's still a great trade, you definitely want to try to execute on those and at least gets the summoner. We'll see if Lorlo can kind of convert on that, or if Dardoch can make a return gank. And with Meteos up here on the top side, sometimes those initial ganks can actually bait your top laner into getting a little overconfident, and the counter ganks can come in. So we'll see how this is all going to work out, as Jensen was gifted his blue because he has that Rek'Sai jungle, and knowing there's no wards here, it's Meteos' turn to try to return the favor.
And they're going to know that Phoenix is getting a blue buff transfer from Dardoch.
Lorlo has no
time
ult.
frame here. Lorlo no ult. He has flash, jumps towards the side. Meteos, Prey Seeker, knock up, red buff, and that's going to force the flash away. The chain slow would have been too much. Impact could have joined in. So Lorlo doing what he had to do, and great for the Meteos. He's actually now forced several summoners and kills without doing anything except just showing up and ganking properly.
Yeah, he's done a great job. Actually affected all 3 lanes. Ghost popped in mid, First Blood in bot, Flash in top. Meteos really excelling here, but it is the power farming from Dardoch, and he did his first gank of his own, and he's just farming, right? He's ahead of the Rek'Sai in farm. Meteos did not decide to go for that Tiamat build, and Fabi in trouble here.
Chain CC from the Fog of War. Fabi's in a bad spot, down to 200 HP, but they're going to survive it. Ignite onto Sneaky to make sure he didn't chase in too hard. Maybe not exactly mandatory, but that's more damage dealt.
Also, really well played there by Matt to pump the damage out into Sneaky. If Sneaky was not under threat of getting killed himself, would have been able to chase in there. So actually the best way that Matt can effectively peel is simply by pumping out that damage onto Sneaky and making him feel scared.
It worked out okay for them. You saw the hawk shot come down. I believe it did spot Dardoch near the red buff, and now Phoenix has to run away. Ooh, the damage! Not quite enough to kill him. Phoenix was aware enough of the threat.
And Ghost had to be popped there, so does at least get the 1 summoner. But Dardoch is here, and his ult is available.
Looking for the play, the flash.
Here they go.
On to Sneaky. Here comes Alistar, and he gets in the way of it. Beautiful play by Smoothie. Now he's getting slowed down. The ulti will time out. Will there be a re-engage? That answer is no. Beautifully perfect by Smoothie on Alistar.
That was actually so well done. Anticipating the flash ultimate from Dardoch, he gets in the way, saves his ultimate to actually break it. That was perfect.
Literally perfect. Smoothie, that was an amazing play.
Really good.
And sometimes, see, when some people blame the support, when a gank comes in, just play as well as Smoothie, they won't blame you.
There you go. And so it's a flash start here. Smoothie sees it coming, gets directly in the way, headbutts him back on the flash. Just flawless execution from the C9 support there. Deserves all the credit in the world, saves his AD carry, and does not even have to blow a summoner. So things looking good here. It's multiple summoners blown for TL. Second ult has been popped, and
Everyone type good job Sneaky in all chat. As we all know, AD carries get all the credit. And C9.
That's why you play it.
C9 off of Sneaky's amazing play in the bot lane gets a Mountain Drake. Man, this guy can do no wrong. Best AD carry in North America for sure. 2,000 health on the Mountain Drake.
And Dardoch's on the top side. I think he did get spotted out there, so they were able to get this down. And thankfully, that's because Meteos has been warding deep. You can see there's a ward by the Wolf Pit. They spot him on that side. Know they're safe to take this out. Impact stays safe because of that. So that is kind of some of the value that is not always immediately seen from taking the Sightstone. Yes, Meteos is not making necessarily a flashy play there, but by intelligent warding, allows them to get the dragon and keeps his top laner safe,
Right.
effectively giving them a huge advantage.
And that's always the hard thing to sort of understand as well. Is like, we all watch tons of LCS games, and it's like, why can't I jungle as well as Meteos? He's just, clearing camps and ganking people. And it's the difficult decision-making, right? Playing, when you see Sejuani up there, get your team to show up, right? Like, just all the things you have to do properly. Everyone's killed a dragon, and they're like, have you taken a dragon against Liquid? No, it requires a lot of skill and a lot of very interesting sort of manipulation of information. And, hey, well done by Meteos and the rest of Cloud9. Small, actually moderate gold lead for them. 1,300 up with only a kill to their name. They're winning in farm in literally every single lane. Even the junglers are matched in number, at least.
Yeah, and with the kill on Meteos, obviously he's ahead in gold, so everyone is doing very well here on C9. But we cannot underestimate the power of the CC that is here on TL. And Dardoch is coming up. This could go tragic for C9 if they try to make the dive happen. They're expecting it. Dardoch's still waiting. He's going to come in.
All right, Lola taking plenty of damage. Oh, he doesn't get to ulti out. He didn't have it, so that's the kill picked up. Well played on this one. Just Impact constantly scrapping with his opponent. Made Lola chrono break earlier. A great dive. Dardoch's counter did not mean anything.
Yeah, and as Jensen just getting big damage out on Phoenix here. She's going to push him out, and Fabi's getting all in.
Another CC chain. Good crescendo. Keeps Fabi alive. It slowed down Sneaky. And that's going to be Liquid running out. And just difficult life for being the Sivir here.
It's for being Liquid in general.
Yeah.
As they get pushed out of all 3 lanes. And Dardoch was anticipating that gank, but they obviously underestimated the dive potential, the amount of damage that could come out here, as Lorlo was dead before Dardoch arrives, and then Jensen bullying Phoenix out of lane, and at the same time, they're getting all in the bot lane. And
Yeah.
that is one of those situations where, as a jungler, it starts to feel very demoralizing. It's like, okay, where do I go? You know, top lane's losing, mid lane's losing, bot lane's losing, everyone needs help. What do you do?
You hope you can get into 5-on-5s, right? This is the game where you say scale for late, wait for ultimates, we'll try to do it together. And I mean, we've seen games, heck, it's happened to Liquid themselves
Apex
where
yesterday.
Yeah, you get into a game where you're down 10,000 gold, but you get the one good team fight and suddenly you win the 5-on-5 anyway. So you always have those options there. It's going to be up for Liquid to, emotional as they are, calm down a little bit, stem the bleeding, buy some tourniquets, invest in ace bandages, and get into the 5-on-5s.
Yeah, certainly. And you know, on the other side of things, it's about Jensen and Sneaky staying safe, right?
Yeah.
It's about Smoothie and Meteos and Impact absorbing those ultimates. About them, you know, limiting the opportunities for their opponents to get to their carries. And through that good peeling, through that good positioning, Jensen and Sneaky will be able to return fire on the back end of these fights, and that's how they will look to win.
We'll see what's going to happen then. C9 looking very good in this early game. 3,000 up already. That is ridiculous at 14 minutes. And again, it's 900 from kills, 800 from the turret, and plenty of farm. You can see the individual gold leads 900 almost on their top laner. That's huge for sure. And just in farm, it's plus 400 for their mid laner Jensen. All good things now for the Cloud9 camp as they prepare for a run through playoffs. They're one of the favorites to make it to Worlds out of North America, and bodying TL is a great way to show you deserve that.
No kidding. And now C9, they have the advantages in lane. The bottom turret is down. They're looking to kind of put some aggression on here in the jungle. Sneaky has his arrow. Jensen with the ultimate, but Dardoch, nice smite.
Yeah, guarantees his own red buff, but it's still a difficult road ahead for Liquid as they manage to not lose an objective. That's still a well-played defense, and that's the fun thing is one of the ways I like to think about gold leads. Hold on,
looking for the dive.
Phoenix probably dead. Oh no, that was a great flash. Great flash by Phoenix, gets away by Smoothie. It's still a turret though. C9, they're faster on the play. They get it down, another objective, 2-0 turrets.
And the best possible situation that Phoenix can do there is what he did. And he still loses his turret, and he still trades support and flash, right? So this is very advantageous for Smoothie. Looks for the play, does make it happen, and they get the turret, they get the exchange of summoners. Sneaky hanging around here is looking for an arrow onto Phoenix, and Phoenix has no cleanse.
Ooh,
he's tagged.
Maybe dead. Layering the CC, Crescendo to stop it out, but it's going to be the cleanse into the chase, into the auto attack. And Jensen gives him a tentacle to knock him down. 3-0. 3 chase maybe into the mid lane. It's going to be a wave clear. They're going to be all right with this one.
The power of the Vel'Koz. So much damage. It ain't going
Flash
Dardoch.
engage 5v4. Sneaky nearly goes down. It's the re-engage as Dardoch gets knocked around. Lola chases in. Once the backline is going to pick off Sneaky as a quick snack. And now it's the retreat from C9 as they have lost their AD carry. But they've killed off Dardoch. It looks like it's just the 1-for-1 on this. C9 runs away.
They could actually go up to Rift Herald here, perhaps, if they want, with Dardoch dead. They have the ability to try to pressure for this, and a good try on the engage from Dardoch. It was a good start, but because Matt had already blown his ultimate in the previous exchange, Cassiopeia is already dead. They didn't have enough follow-up, but look at Sneaky picking on the Cassiopeia. And mid laners need to take note. You need cleanse against Ashe, but there's a fight going down in the top lane.
And it's again Lolo forced to use his ulti as Impact is crushing the one-on-one. Look at that, smashes him. A 3-0. Nar Impact continues to have excellent games late on into the summer split, and what a time to get back on form.
Not even close there for Lorlo. You have to respect the Frozen Mallet plus the red buff is a deadly combination, and especially in the earlier stages of the game, that true damage and that slow means a lot.
It really does, and man, looks like the whole ban the one champ, pick the other, make sure you can pick, grab the first round red side Nar pickup, remove the counter picks, give no respect to Lorlo, has worked out really wonderfully for him. So massive props to Impact and the rest of C9 for setting this one up.
Yeah.
Life looks very good for this squad right now. Huge lead for them. Won't be a perfect game. They did give up 1 kill, but it looks nice.
Yeah, and it's certainly far from over. It's 17 minutes in, and although they are down in gold, it's on C9 to play safe and absorb these impacts. But we have the Ashe arrow coming out. Oh.
Yeah, that one.
Close.
That one's going to land us yet. So yeah, talking about gold leads, you mentioned the fact that it's not over just yet. Basically what a gold lead does for you is say, hey, in a fight that's reasonably close, you'll probably win it instead because of item advantages. But it doesn't do anything for outpositioning your opponent. It doesn't do anything for matchup.
Goes Dardoch. He's trying to
Dardoch
steal.
wants to steal. He tries. 700 health. Smite goes through. Nicely done by Meteos. Dardoch smite a little bit too early. Couldn't make it happen. So C9 now. Mountain Drake plus more in their employ. More stats. More fun for them as they look to close this one out because they are looking great early on.
was a good try from Dardoch, but you can tell he's feeling a little bit pressure to make a play like that because they know they're falling behind, and it's a mountain on top of the Inferno. They did not want to give up these big ticket dragons, and losing the jungle now, C9 has the ability to continue to push it up, and it's tough for Lorlo because he's so disadvantaged in this 1v1 at this point, down a lot of farm, all these kills, and you know, how does he get back into that matchup? Where do you find those advantages?
I don't think he can individually, but maybe he'll find something else in a team fight. But yeah, and the thing is, like the last 5-on-5 we saw, actually, it was a 4-on-5, and look at what 1-1 in it. Like, imagine if Phoenix didn't die for free at the start, what that could have looked like.
And
so,
Zona didn't have her ultimate, right?
Right,
you know,
right.
The Ashe could have died instantly instead of being able to get a lot of trade damage out.
So you have to keep that in mind. There's always that slim chance that Liquid finds the battle they want. But in the meantime, though, it's going to be about C9 pushing the pressure in. Impact
C9
now
coming over.
on the wrong side of the
Back
He's
needs to
got
delay.
teammates coming. Impact lower and lower. A nice stun into combo into the kill into Phoenix. And there comes the Destructo laser, and it's bad for Liquid. They've got to run away from this one as well. Impact still on the chase. Looks for Matt. A couple more attacks will do it. Can't quite get the kill, but it's a 1-for-0 all the same in favor of C9. Plus a lot of the turret damage.
And Vel'Koz really excels in fights like that, and it was a great flash, a great delay by Impact, getting over to his team, and then Smoothie flies in with the combo onto Phoenix, who just got taken down so quickly. And if they're quick, they're pinging over the Rift Herald. They could get it before it despawns, which will just tilt this 1v1 top lane matchup even further.
As though it wasn't already bad with a level lead and 2,100 gold.
It's a lot.
If they kill it in 25 seconds, which they should,
They will.
it's going to be even more ridiculous. Impact's got to feel great. You're recalling off the buff.
Oh no.
Oh no. He's not going to get it.
Oh god.
He's just not going to get it.
Wait, he's still, oh my god.
He didn't get it.
there. That is,
It's okay, we got a replay. Death Flash gets over the casket ult. And yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. He got one shot by a layer of crowd control. The Sejuani ult and Crescendo landed together on the same targets. They actually just kind of wasted half the duration of that CC. And even then, though, they stunned 3 people. Didn't matter.
yeah, so that buff did expire.
Yep.
No one actually picked it up there, forcing a little bit unlucky.
Little unlucky.
A little unlucky, but it's okay. He still has that edge. He's like, you know what? This wouldn't be fair. Let's keep it close.
Exactly. Right. Just make sure the
It's a
game
good
is
sport.
interesting for the fans. We're going to be okay on this. Yeah, honestly, though, this does look like a great world to be a C9 fan or a C9 player right now. 8,000, almost the lead, 20 minutes in. Baron is now up. Second Mountain Drake spawning before too terribly long, only 2 minutes and change. And
Jensen is really starting to pick up here on this Vel'Koz. 30 CS ahead, has 2 completed items plus the Sork boots, and this guy is going to be a team fight menace with the AoE from him. In addition to that Hurricane, they're looking for Sneaky though.
here comes the chase down, several ultis in. A headbutt gets Dardoch away, but Matt can't quite get in range just yet. He's trying, and he can't get it. Pulverize slows down. Dardoch volley slows down more, and they're out of this one. All as well for that squad.
Good job staying calm there. Nothing was blown. And because they have to commit so much on this side, they know Lorlo can't match up. Impact's already working on the turret, and they're getting this advantage, but Smoothie needs to be careful.
Yeah, in the meantime, it's just Team Liquid trying to engage and get something to happen. It's going to be the flash out of Smoothie. He saved his ulti, but
It's going to go down. They're just, no one's even responding, and Dardoch, I think, is going to be too little too late. Can probably just be ignored by Impact, and yeah, he realizes that
He
it's
turns
gone.
away himself. He's like, I'm not going to fight Impact. That turret is yours. You earned it, buddy. Congratulations. Out they go. Nice split push happening.
10,000 gold lead in.
Sheesh.
Pretty rough stuff, 21 minutes in. TL is really feeling the pressure. They need to try to make some sort of play. You know, layer that CC, try to capitalize on their team fight, but it's going to be really tough. And C9 has kind of over-indexed on that front line in order to keep himself safe.
Look for Cassiopeia.
Got him.
Lands it on him, and Phoenix is going to fall. Crumbles before our very eyes. Another pickoff. Nice aim by Sneaky.
Dies
Good job,
so
Jensen.
quickly, too, that Vel'Koz damage as well. And that's even with an Abyssal. He's
Right.
building to try to survive this, but with the true damage coming in and all that just flat burst from the Vel'Koz, it is very tough to survive.
Magic Pen definitely helps. Sork Shoe is a pretty big deal, and lots of ability power to go along with it. He's gotten so much gold, he's just got the items to kill off whatever he wants. There wasn't really any health to back up the magic resistance that Phoenix had bought. And Phoenix had flash. He just thought he could dodge the arrow and kind of was incorrect in that assessment. So
Yeah, I'm honestly not even sure if he saw it coming, at least not early enough, because it was,
Yeah.
you know, a nice angle there from Sneaky, shooting it off from the side, somewhere he did not expect. And you know, I was talking about this a little bit earlier today. It's something that GBM has been doing where he just doesn't take cleanse into the Ashe. He's not showing that respect, and Ashe players are getting too damn good. They just pick on the mid laner. They're constantly going back here. And if you get tagged by an arrow, you're essentially just dead.
Yeah.
You need to take cleanse. And I think taking Ghost here was a little bit greedy, and he's being punished for that.
Especially because you're on a team with a Sivir and a Sona. Like, you've got movement speed.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fine as far as that regard goes. I agree with you. I think it's definitely a incorrect choice by Phoenix, and that's just kind of what's happened here. I want to touch on Matt real quick before. Oh, we got to fight first. Yeah, we'll wait for that one.
Yeah, TL is looking to push in this top lane. Their whole team is up on this side of the map, but C9 may just want to try to avoid it as Sneaky and Jensen pushing down mid.
Okay, so it's the split push game. It's C9 finding it that way. It's Phoenix knocked up. It's him taken out. The flashy dodged arrow, but could not dodge the rest of the damage. Another two-man kill for C9, getting more and more in the boat. So yeah, real quick, touching on what Matt's doing on Sona, because I'm curious for the new champion. Is also maxing heal, much like the other Sonas I've seen in the LCS, but has not yet gotten any extra points into his movement speed buff on the E.
They get chased down here.
And there's the laser over the wall. Matt dangerously down, and that's going to be a kill for Impact. The knockup going to find Lorlo, but he's tanky enough to get away. Long form with the 2 for 0 with the earlier pick onto Phoenix. C9 with a Mountain Drake up for the taking, but right now looking at Baron with a blue buff steal as well. They have not gotten too many steals earlier on in this game. Props to Dardoch for keeping his jungle alive, but it's them looking at some neutral objectives, and this could be picked up pretty easily.
Baron does feel a bit risky for me at this point in the game. I feel like was one of the only ways he could lose, but Lorlo gets caught.
The face check, the layered CC had no chance to chrono break or flash. Speed with a great setup, and the rest of his team with good follow-up to boot, and here we go. Baron actually taking some damage. Top laner dead for 30 seconds, but the rest of Liquid are around. Matt is coming from the base. 5,000 health. Dardoch gets a 3-man stun, but there's no damage to follow up. Finally, in comes Phoenix, but nope, he's already dead. Dardoch has dropped off the face of the map, and Phoenix getting caught as well. A great knockup. Can't kill off Impact just yet. A double kill in for Jensen, and now back they go to the Baron. Just kidding, they're going to go heal up.
Yeah, a little too low there. Smart call. They get the picks. Why not take out that next Mountain Drake, make it even easier, spend all your gold, heal up, and return, and just do it all over again.
Yeah, and I wonder what kind of decisions Liquid had there. Of course, yes, the Baron defense did not work. They lost 2 kills. They could have instead chosen to take Mountain Drake and just give away Baron, but in a world where you give C9 a free Baron, you probably just actually lose the game off that. Yeah. So I think their only winning play was to take the 5% of winning the team fight.
And I think that if C9 doesn't turn for the fight and they overcommit to the Baron and you catch him with all this AoE, that's a way that you can get back in, right? So you have to go for that. You have to try something. But now, Jensen and Sneaky were backing with almost 3,000 gold apiece. That's a full death cap done on Jensen at this point.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to be disgustingly strong. Sneaky picking up a QSS for himself, so making sure that he's not going to fall. And that's very intelligent. He doesn't need the extra damage. He just needs to make sure that he stays alive. With double Mountain, they could easily burn down a Baron here too.
Yep.
So really all the options are on the table for Cloud9.
Yeah, it looks like for securing a 3rd place seed in the playoffs, everyone got raises and they're just spending the money right away in this game. So much more money than Liquid right now, who might be looking at a 0-2 match loss week heading into the playoffs, which is not how you want to sort your season out, but what it's looking like right here, 13-1 in kills. C9, nearly a perfect game. Like, keep in mind, these are 2 playoff teams. They're only 2 seeds apart. This is almost a perfect game from C9.
And this is a team that yesterday was in the picture for getting 3rd, for actually knocking C9 out of their spot. And the loss to Apex did remove the chance of that, but still, this is definitely a team that thought they were one of the best teams in the league, and they have kind of fallen down a little bit here in this last week, but we'll see if they can battle back. They're not out of it just yet, but definitely in a massive deficit here in game 1. 27 minutes in, 50,000 gold to 38K.
And just to think about these 2 teams as well, they matched up a few weeks ago and C9 took game 1 pretty convincingly. Liquid went back and won the series. They almost won 3 games with the remake. Got a nice flash away from the arrow, so no engage going to land for Sneaky. Now Liquid wants back in. Will they find anything though? So many Banshee spells on the team. Means not a lot of stuns, and actually Dardoch dies without even getting to ult or anything at all. Chrono Break comes in, but means almost nothing. Lorlo just does not do any damage for it to matter. As C9 takes down one of the tanks, the flash chase
going to come out.
They get some CC. Phoenix is going to die once again. A legendary Vel'Koz in the mid lane. 9-0-3 for the Dane. Jeez.
What a dominating performance as Jensen off the back of that is 5,000 gold ahead of Phoenix. That is ugly.
That is.
Ouch.
Ouch. Yeah, and I mean, like, already, if you look at Cassiopeia, you turn to stone, but it's so ugly, you actually might just claw your eyes out. This is just brutal right now. 13, 15,000, the gold lead. This is C9, I think, walking this one into this point.
Yeah, I think so. Impact already took down that top lane inhibitor turret. They can look to really try to close this one out. The Ashe arrow is going to be available momentarily here, and it's pretty short cooldown. Vel'Koz ult. He almost has his too.
Oh my gosh. Okay. 99.5% chance Cloud9 wins this game. Liquid have to find that 0.5%, that 1 in 200 that somehow works out for them. Top lane inhibitor is down.
Gardoc's looking
For a bit of something.
Here he goes.
Ooh, Smite is in. A bit of a slowdown on Meteos. There's the two-man stun as well, but it's on the tank. C9 are well positioned. Arrow's gonna land. Crescendo meant nothing though, and here comes the damage up, but Dardoch's gone already. Stun doesn't mean anything. Another kill picked up.
Is just playing it way too intelligently. They're not giving him a chance to get back to their carries. You have Sneaky over in the Wolf Pit, Jensen all the way back by the blue buff, and these frontliners are just running at you in your face. They're so far ahead that you cannot ignore their damage. In comes the TP from Impact. They're looking to close this one out.
So whether it's Apex or Envy, beware, because Cloud9 looks scary and they look angry. The second inhibitor going to be going down pretty quickly on this one as C9 can close out the regular split with a dominating win. Of course, there's still more games to play in this match. It is a best of 3. It's not over just yet the whole time, but this individual game, if C9 keeps playing like this is a scary team for sure.
Ooh, full Void Staff for Jensen.
Every time he recalls, he just buys another 3,000 gold item. This is ridiculous. He is so far ahead right
Mr.
now.
Moneybags over here just gets his pick of the litter.
I mean, he has, what, like 62% of all of his team's kills right now. He has 14,000 gold. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do whatever he wants.
He's getting close to doubling up on Phoenix as far
Yep.
as gold goes. 10-0-3. What a game on Vel'Koz. He's already played it once this split, but you know, his team was winning that one very hard, and he didn't really get a chance to get involved in a lot of fights, and now is really kind of flexing that Vel'Koz muscle and looking great on this pick. So be interested to see if it does continue to come out. TL are going to have to try to make one more stand.
All right, they're going to hope for it right here. Ashe Arrow comes in, and it still tags Phoenix. There's the knockup, there's the combo, there's the kill. Impact himself is unstoppable. Another one comes in for Sneaky as well, finally getting himself his second kill of the game. And now here comes this final push in onto the third and final inhibitor turret. The inhibitor itself. And
It's all over but the
30.
Crying Freak. This one is going to be in the books.
Ooh.
C9 looking to take game 1 here over Team Liquid.
And Liquid hoping to forget it ever happened. Cloud9 1 kill short of a perfect game to start their series against Liquid. The next is going to get smashed. If they don't dive the fountain, they're going to get them all. And there we go, 18-1. A beautiful game 1 for C9.
Really not much else to say besides that. C9 played this one to perfection, looked so good the whole time. And the only blemish was that one sneaky death in the mid game, and you know, by that tier 1 turret. But still, C9 looked fantastic. The top lane matchup got severely tilted in the favor of Impact, and
Yeah.
TL, honestly, their comp, I think, has a lot of potential here, but they never actually got a chance to get it rolling. They were so far behind. They were losing every lane. Has done well against it with Zillion. He's been using that quite well. So, you know, it's something that they have left through in the past and have been comfortable to deal with. But it can also not even be about the lane. It can simply be about the dynamic that changes with Malzahar in the game, as far as team fighting, as far as, you know, roaming potential or whatever. So there's a lot of thought that goes into these picks.
And when you consider the fact that they really, really want to play Ashe here, it seems like they've prioritized that very heavily here in this one. That's what they wanted to go for. And with the Silver Band off, he's the clear sort of next go-to AD carry in most teams' minds. And playing the tier list, I think first pick Ashe actually might make sense. Rex has up the tables, you could trade junglers back and forth without too much worry. It kind of lines up. I understand the logic.
Especially if Phoenix does not want to play Cleanse. You know, if you don't want to play Cleanse, Sneaky can continue moving to the mid lane, looking for picks there. He's a guy who's very comfortable on this. You know, another sniper champion he excels at, obviously Jhin. He's one of the guys who kind of popularized the champion on its release, and always a guy to really kind of pioneer these new builds, these new champions when they do come out, because he plays so much solo queue. He's always in there.
And I really appreciate players that play that many games. Sneaky streaming every single day. Like, a lot of these players are doing this, but look, being first to the champion is a really big deal. And I think, you know, you have obviously very strict scrim schedules. You don't want to waste a game. You don't want to come out and practice 5 games of, let's say, Teemo, and have it not be worthwhile. And, you know, you just lost 5 hours of practice time. But if you're just playing random ranked games, like, look, try to win, but like, this is your time to try things out and come into the next block of scrim, say, hey, I really think Jin's good. Let's try it out here, right? And you come in with
Exactly.
it, and you're like, oh, you're right. And being first is a big deal. Who else is playing Vel'Koz? Still not banned. Jens is 2-0, smashing both times on it. Who else playing Vel'Koz? Really no one.
Yep.
At least in North America.
Yeah, no one so far. And sometimes it does take that first kind of pioneer to really bring it to light and to have people take notice and start practicing it themselves. But it's going to be Karma and Jin, very likely in the bot lane, although Karma, of course, can be a flex. And another sniper champion coming out here. We do have Jin with that very long-range ultimate, has seen a lot of success here in the LCS.
And it allows Liquid to do what they do best. Like, Liquid in the sort of post Piglet era is a team fighting team. It's them saying, let's get the engage tools in with Matt, get the engage tools with Fabi, let's start things out. And look, Jin starts to snipe, lands a couple of slows, and Karma sends that team in with the mantra and Inspire. And this makes sense, right? It fits the Liquid brand of League of Legends, the way they play most of their games. These champs make sense for them as a team, and it's just about finding a comp that fits with that. Look, Hecarim's great, extra synergy with Karma, the in-combat movement speed, going to give you a little bit more damage. Why the heck not? All positive things.
All super good, also super good against Ashe. You know, that was something I was maybe thinking that was going to come out last time around when we did see that earlier Ashe pick, and it did not come out. Obviously, they did elect to go with Sejuani. Didn't work out for them in game 1, but it's going to be a lot of dive here, so you have that kind of chaos that is brought out by this Jin ultimate, and then you have obviously the Hecarim, the Aurelia sped up by this Karma, and they're able to dive in there and really kind of get on top of some of these carries.
And this was the interesting thing about the C9 draft is they delayed their, like, they dropped the Aurelia ban they had from before because that's like the sort of notable counterpick to Gnar, and clearly Impact is willing to play the matchup once again. He didn't want to play against Shen, Vlad, etc. But well, now you got the worst matchup for yourself because of the way your band's shaped up, but you know, they weren't even willing to delay that champion. They actually allow Liquid to counterpick top lane as well as counterpick mid lane. And usually I'm very concerned when that happens because, like right here, what is C9 really losing by blind picking a support when you already know you're against 90% Jin Karma anyway?
Yeah.
But they blind pick the Gnar and give TL 2 counterpicks, which now lets them get through Hecarim's not the best early game ganking and go do cool stuff.
So this is interesting. LeBlanc is actually going to get picked in here. So it's blind click LeBlanc essentially, unless they're assuming that it is going to be a different kind of support. It is going to be that Karma. So Jensen looking to bring back a little assassination flavor here. Braum locked in to work down with this Ashe, and they will have a lot of CC with the Braum, with the Gnar, you know, be able to follow up and proc those stuns.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about this, right, is again, I tunnel on the solo lane counterpick situation, but C9 learned nothing about the bot lane before they picked this Braum. No new information was gained in any single way, except now they gave 2 counterpicks over, which again, like, makes me believe I don't really understand what they're going for with the pick order. Either way, here's LeBlanc, the blind pick. The Karma could flex mid, or they find whatever they want. Lissandra's one that we know is quite good. You talk about trying to bring Cleanse in the mid lane. Well, now you're against a targeted stun, and does LeBlanc really even want to do that when she wants Ignite or Teleport for sure?
No, I certainly don't think that on LeBlanc you're going to go for that cleanse, and you'll just kind of have to deal with that. I also feel because specifically on LeBlanc, you really do kind of have such a need to snowball, right? You have to be able to dominate. You have to be able to get these early kills in these picks. In straight up 5v5 team fights, your effectiveness is generally a lot lower. You have to be able to find these picks, move to the side lanes, roam around. People have been doing this more and more with TP. In the past, it was almost exclusive Ignite, but people have been finding success, you know, just with that teleport. Even TP flanks and stuff early, especially if you're in lane swap scenarios where the turret is down, you can find these TP in and assassinate people.
And I think they do have a road in on that bot lane. It's Braum against a ranged support, meaning if you land the flash exhaust, the flash Q, 90% of the time you do it right, that is a kill. So I expect him to head to that bot side of the map. Jensen right now looks like he is bringing that teleport as you were talking about, the plays you can make with that. And I think the hotspot is down there because otherwise you're trying to gank a Gnar Aurelia lane, which is a losing matchup for Impact, unless he outplays it, which of course he can, but the odds are that's not the case. So it seems like C9 are going to be kind of dogpiling the bot side of the map. They've got that early game ganker in Gragas. He can definitely do some really good things here. You expect him to outpace Stardock on Hecarim, who's once again playing the slightly slower jungler as far as sort of clear speed and early pressure goes, which will probably work pretty well because passively the lanes are winning. It just requires the Gragas and the Blanc interference to make that not the case.
You especially have to be a little bit extra worried about Lorlo playing Aurelia. This guy is known for his Aurelia. He's so good at it, but we'll have to give the benefit of the doubt over to Impact, who has been on a tear and absolutely dominating recently, especially a lot of early impact here from Gragas, as you said, to look for that, and we'll see what they really can get rolling, because sometimes those lane advantages don't mean much if you get put behind by the jungler. And Dardoch and Lorlo do work very well together, but I would say I'd prefer to have the Gragas on my team early in the game.
And so Meteos coming into this game wearing the skin of the Season 1 World Champions in Fnatic, who have not been having the best split for themselves, but we'll hope that he can go to Worlds just like they have done so many times.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I believe it would be Meteos' third trip, as he missed it in 2015.
Yeah. And so this is clever. This is something that has become more and more popular from TL, as well as some of the other teams, basically to counteract the fact that they're assuming their opponents will want to lane swap. You deny the advantage of getting those deep wards by just simply moving straight to lane, waiting in the bush. So even if C9 comes in and gets that deep ward, which they didn't do this game, but even if they do, they can't actually spot where your bot lane duo is moving. So it does kind of put you in this awkward situation where you're forced to guess, and if C9 moves top side, then they will have guessed wrong. But for now, it looks like they're going to be staying bot side, and I think that will be nice for them because generally speaking, Karma should have an advantage against Braum in the early lanes, and we've already spoken about it. You know, Relia should kind of have that advantage against Gnar. So I think C9 is going to be happy to get the lane swap.
Yeah, good for them. They managed to guess properly, and Liquid went for the gamble, and it did not pay off. Coin flip came up tails, and sad face for them. So in a lane swap, Liquid, of course, able to grab their blue buff on the greedy side of the map. They're going to be okay with this one, and you're seeing a very similar situation with Cloud9's own jungle duo. Smoothie and Sneaky grab Krugs, that's fine, but it's Impact and Meteos who were able to take Gromp into blue, and looks like neither jungler will lose any of this side of it.
Impact wise to their tricks, not going to take too much damage there, as it has become very common.
But he doesn't get the XP, and that's the big
true.
thing, actually. He was able to chase off the Gnar, whereas Lorlo is actually walking out of lane with all three melees under his belt. He actually got the last hits on the... Oh, shoot! Smoothie. Well, forget what you know about advantages. You're gone.
The C9 bot lane duo takes Gromp and Krugs.
Gromp and Krugs.
Not bad.
Can they get Wolves too? Yeah, you got little one. Pretty sure.
2 1/3 camp. That's what we'll give.
Oh my gosh. I have never seen a support start the game this good. Smoothie continues to play ridiculously well in this series.
Certainly has been on fire. And they are making the rotation now. TP comes in from Impact onto that minion, which is being focus fired. Obviously gives them that extra time to do damage here, and both teams will look to kind of clear this up and toss over that solo gold.
Savvy running a little bit low on health, but he's fine. Notice that the way these teams are playing the lane swap, basically the champions tank all of the minion damage, and that way they're able to kill the turret.
Look, mid lane, Meteos is here.
But can he even make it happen? He's going to land the barrel for some damage. Not terribly much done. Jensen had minion aggro the whole time, so he took it almost as bad as he gave it there, honestly. Phoenix temporarily up in health right now.
Phoenix is honestly really intelligent to stay in the midst of the minions to make it almost impossible for Meteos to land that body slam, because that's what he wanted to go for, as the body slam flash, but did not have the ability. Ooh, that was close.
He's okay though. He made it. He's going to be alive. And Lorlo, the 3-minute 30-second turret kill. Similar timing here for C9. And they're actually going to not share the gold. It will be just Impact. Sneaky knows the radius. Just the 100 global. Properly juggled. Looks like both top laners in this lane swap are going to be shoving their waves, expecting the duos to rejoin them.
Yeah,
Impact was correct in that assessment.
Gnar didn't get enough time to actually get much of anything there. Aurelia had a lot more free time because they took that turret first, so he's able to kind of stay around, shove that out, and Lorlo with 10 CS compared to just 2 from Impact because of this.
And XP-wise, he's actually up exactly a full level. Some of that was getting to leech rather, the very first wave. But yeah, Liquid going for a much faster paced lane swap choice. Of the decisions there are, they made that one. And were able to secure an advantage for the top lane matchup. It's supposed to already win, but the choices they made this matchup even better. You should expect to see even more out of Lorlo.
And generally when there's that much of an advantage on one side, you expect the other team to have gotten something from it. But in this case, C9 really didn't get anything. It's not like their AD carry is massively ahead or anything like that. So a nice little edge there from Lorlo, well played by him, and just the faster lane swap. A little bit better execution there, and obviously something to do with the champions as well. You know, having the Karma with the spell thieves, a little bit more damage on the turrets. You can sometimes poke them down faster, and Meteos now steals away.
Nicely done by him. Yeah, it is technically, I suppose, a barrel, fruit, nice damage. Good job on the Phoenix. The funny thing is, technically, that golden XP, most of it did go to Sneaky, right? Like, that whole team is around for one more wave. That whole XP was shared by Smoothie and co. So technically, it didn't go nowhere, but it certainly didn't go to Impact as heavily as it did to Lorlo. So You mentioned the AD carry not being massively ahead. He's slightly ahead, but that just might not mean anything.
Yeah.
Round 2, the lane swap concludes with these turrets going down. Once again, Lola should be getting solo gold. He will do so, and Fabi is... Actually, can't tell if he's going to be in range. I think he knows. Yeah, it's actually a pretty short radius for the local turret gold. This time around, C9 did share. They continue to put a lot of resources onto Sneaky, actually. It's kind of two different situations where they chose, once again,
Dardock's actually looking here. Wants to go for the dive.
onto Jensen, who's very low on mana, but it's so risky to go for that when you know he can flash away from the wall. And
yeah, didn't actually flinch. And I think in this case, Dardock was actually just trying to get him to stop his recall to miss out on some of these minions. And Jensen kind of calls the bluff. He was watching him. I felt safe to complete the recall and does so.
yeah, so they both were able to recall off of Negatron Cloak plus double Doran's Ring. And actually, Phoenix himself able to also get boots on that one.
Dardock's looking top. Impact's pretty far up here, and he's got to be really careful. He's low. This is bad. There's no turret there for him. They could maybe run him down here.
He has Flash. How good's the hop going to be? Gets off to the side. Actually bounces off of Dardock, and now flashes to run. But be careful because he's still got the chase. And yeah, it's going to be the kill picked up. First blood goes through. Nicely ganked by Dardock. Impact did not have the wards he needed to be safe. And that's a bit on C9, not giving him the vision.
It is,
Meteos
but
does have a sight stone.
he shouldn't have been there, and you have to make the best of the situation that you're given. If you don't have the vision, sometimes you just have to sacrifice that, and it's going to put him in a horrible spot because Lorlo is getting so far ahead here, and you could just see he's so far up. Just the level 3 to level 5 here of Dardock, and flash away was not going to accomplish anything with Ghost still available. Dardock easily picks up first blood, and the advantage is expanding here for Lorlo, and they're indexing heavily towards that.
Right, ooh, and Dardock looks towards the bot side as well. Looks like he won't find him in a kill. He will fight for the blue buff, and once that goes over...
Level 6 on Meteos, they do have to be a bit careful.
Nice. Well timed. The barrel gives vision. Pulled into the brush or not, doesn't matter. Presses Q and D at the same time. They're both instant cast. You pretty much can't screw that up as long as you know how to hit two buttons at the exact same time.
Oh, I can screw it up, Freak.
You
You
can.
obviously haven't seen me jungle too much.
And actually, for anyone who follows Counter-Strike drama, careful with your jump binds. Letting go of fire and pressing jump at the same time, banned in some circles.
Oh, wow.
Pressing two buttons at the same time is apparently an important mechanical skill, depending on the game you play.
There you go. Lorlo now trying to help out Dardock, take away this blue buff, and it looks like it's just going to be gifted over. So, you know, both teams kind of focusing on opposite sides of this. And Lorlo may be able to try to pull off a dive. If Dardock gets 6 here, let's see how close he is. Probably going to be able to grab it off this camp, I would imagine. And does have enough health and mana, so they could look for something. But Meteos up here on this side of the map, and it's going to be important for them to not have Impact get any further behind. He needs to try to get this XP, pick up this farm, and make sure that he does not become a liability.
We'll see what they get with this one. Jensen is keeping himself fine in the mid lane, and yeah, Impact
Smoothie moving up.
okay. Yeah, you're seeing roams. Of course, the map is very opened up because we're in a post lane swap game. So the roams are a really big deal. You can leave your lane for a long time because you're not going to lose any turret damage to chip because the minions have to travel for like 3 minutes to get there, and it means your decision making changes quite a lot.
And Jensen playing it very safe. You know, never W'd forward, and had he likely would have gotten ulted by Phoenix into the ultimate from Dardock and probably gone down. So it definitely had to play it very carefully there. Was not aware that the jungler was in position, but kind of maybe sensed it or knew that it was a possibility.
And interestingly, kind of looking at all of this, C9 has managed to keep the gold basically identical. They've actually got a minor lead with how they played this, despite the extra kill Liquid got, and even though they had a very huge local advantage on the Lorlo, that's been equalized pretty well.
I think a fair bit of that I would guess is...
Ooh, another route into Jin's gonna land it also. Wow, good aim. It actually went through both Jensen and his return portal, so he had no way of getting away from it. That's pretty nice stuff right here. Sneaky actually freezing right now on the bot side of the map. Now, that does allow Liquid to theoretically go for a Drake play, but that's not going to be in the cards for them. They're actually pushing top side. And I don't know if this turret's really going to take any meaningful damage, though. Are you really going to knock down top tier 2 like this?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And they maybe just try to set up a dive here or perhaps go to Rift Herald. You can see Dardock is ready to go for it, but Jensen does have flash, has his...
And Fabi's just now 6. So now they have the tools to actually go for this one. Jensen's got to be
it.
very smart. He's got W,
Smoothie's
R,
coming around,
and
though.
flash. Smoothie's here to defend. Gragas not far either. Meteos coming from the right-hand side, and Liquid is wasting time right now. They're getting nothing done. Fabi's not in lane. Sneaky's freezing. Okay, they're getting a jungle camp. That's nice, I guess, but
Yeah, Sneaky's already up 500 gold, and he's the one with the call. So that is going to be pretty nice when he does cash in, and that's where most of the gold lead actually is for C9. Smoothie actually up a couple hundred gold himself, too, because he stole the Gromp, and he's used his Targons very well, while Matt is kind of roaming around and not always getting those spell seed procs.
Right, and this is, again, another very interesting point to talk about, right, is the C9 made the choice to freeze with Ashe. Liquid said, okay, they're freezing, we should punish that. And okay, one of the ways you punish is you try to 5v4 the other side of the map. Of course, Sneaky can't join, he's on bot lane. The way C9 played it, though, there were no seemingly obvious opportunities. The way Jensen played, the way Meteos played, the way Impact played, Smoothie just reinforced the mid lane. They made sure that the typical punish game couldn't do anything.
Exactly.
There were no openings. And again, like, even though the sum total was nothing happened, intelligent plays on both sides to make sure nothing happened.
Exactly, and it's one of those things that's very easily overlooked because it just looks like it was right.
Yeah.
Of course C9 didn't die on the other side of the map while Sneaky was freezing, but there's a lot of little things that go into it and a lot of intuition, playing with imperfect information here. You have to make the assumption of, okay, what would be the best play for them to do? Now, what is the best response to what I think they would do?
And not losing as much farm as Sneaky's gaining over Fabi, right? If Jensen and Impact hide, well, it's 2 lanes versus 1. You're losing that play. You've got to actually stay in lanes to not make that a negative. And they played around it very well. So now, again, down a kill. It's Cloud9 up 700 gold.
This freeze is actually becoming a really big problem. It's stayed there way too long, and now TL is moving down to try to break it. Nice steal away from Dardoch. In comes Phoenix.
Here comes the play. The Fear on a Smoothie. Curtain call. Hit 1, hit 2, hit 3. The ulti guarantees it. And they picked one off. Sneaky low as well. The flash away from Phoenix. Here comes the teleport timings. And Dardoch is a couple hits away from being a casualty as Impact is going to knock back Lola. But careful, you gave an Aurelia right in the face of an Ashe. Nice root comes in. Matt has a flash away from Body Slam. Didn't see that coming in.
LeBlanc is roaming down.
And this is the roam, yes. However, it is a dangerous situation for C9 as Smoothie was in base after respawning. And that will be Liquid finally able to capitalize well. A great pickup there on a Smoothie. Good kill. Brings the game a little bit closer.
Yeah, nice little dive in here, and they commit heavily. A lot of ultimates being dropped there on the Smoothie, but they, thankfully for them, do pick it up. And Sneaky very close to being in some trouble here, but they're able to get enough trade damage back to actually force them out. And as we did see, nothing really amounted to the rest of that fight. Jensen was able to push in that mid lane wave, got a slight CS advantage before roaming down, but the kill going over to Phoenix is an edge to him.
And the thing is, like, Liquid got a kill and the gold lead got worse. It's now 1100. Like, this is the world that Liquid are living in where, look, they're making plays that are rewarded for them in the scoreboard. You press tab, you're like 2-0, sick. But the scoreboard they can't see is the one that we can, which is you're down 1,000 gold.
Well, just look at the 80 carry items.
Yeah.
80 carry gold, right? This is something that you know is a problem as a professional player. And Jensen takes away that blue buff. Well done by C9. We'll see if Liquid tries to return to the other side and grab that. But as the cull pops, this advantage is just going to get bigger and bigger for Sneaky. And it can become problematic. And this is something that happens to Fabi, honestly, a decent amount. He has had some games where he has really fell far behind in lane. And when you get too far behind in lane, as a Jhin especially, it becomes a very big problem to punch through the front line of guys like Braum and Gragas and Dinar, who you already will struggle with.
Definitely agree. So let's see if they can get through this difficult world right here. C9 right now shoving down in the bot lane and yeah, looking okay with plenty of damage here. Impact pulls aggro. Takes more shots than he needed to, but gets out. Although getting as much as he can. Jensen tries to trade on a Phoenix. Phoenix respects him quite a bit. He gets out of this one as they both move towards their opening items. No major completions yet for either Mage or either AD carry here. So again, looking for the trade. A great route and ulti. This could be the death of Jensen. Turret shot's going to go in and bit off more than he could chew. Gets in a turret range. Huge mistake. But it does mean a Drake for C9.
Yeah, they get the Dragon and they'll take the trade, but there was no need to go for that from Jensen. And a little bit of disrespect to Phoenix, honestly, thinking that he would not be able to react fast enough, and Phoenix makes him pay. Solo kill on Jensen there. Off to a good start.
Phoenix has been getting those roots all game. Just the core mistake is that Jensen thinks, well, I can just win the trade. We'll just trade our spells back and forth. But the fact that he got in a turret range with it is, well, now you're opening up the ult. And that was, of course, very well played by Phoenix.
And here it is. And look how fast Phoenix is to this. He anticipates it, lands the W into the ultimate, perfectly chained. Jensen does try to distortion back, but it's too little too late. He took a lot of tower shots there and just really well played from
Very
Phoenix.
well played. Absolutely agree. So, Liquid 3-0 in kills. Gold now tied because of their efforts. And it's basically Sneaky the one with the major lead, but the fact that he's been able to farm so darn much going towards the Essence Reaver build, so high cooldown reduction, very frequent Enchanted Crystal arrows from that Ashe, the ultimate.
Yeah, and they are setting it up. You can see them around here. Sneaky sitting in that mid lane bush. They're looking for the arrow.
Can't quite find it. This is the cool thing as well, is they have that, I'm going to say it, sorry internet, that recently buffed Cloud Drake, so they can follow up on those Ashe arrows very quickly. Right, the team is able to get into range, even though they have no move speed buffs themselves. The objective they grabbed actually helping them quite a bit with that part.
Yeah. And although Impact did have a little bit of a snafu in the early game, did give up that kill, he has stayed even against Lorlo, and it has not really kind of ballooned into anything. So far, Impact is doing pretty well for himself. AD carry definitely goes the way of C9 right now, and the advantages for TL are much more about the mid laner, but Sneaky may get chased down here.
Dardoch pops Ghost, has a red buff. Sneaky's life is bad, and he's just going to try to run and get feared and die, and now Jensen... Why even bother teleporting? Like, they should just know he's dead. Of course, the timer takes so long he wasn't part of the fight. And Phoenix canceled his own. He didn't need to join that one anymore. A great pickup, though, by Dardoch all the same. Nicely done by him. And actually, the weird thing is, 3 of Liquid's 4 kills are solo kills. There's only been assists on that one bot lane dive. Everyone else is literally solo killing their opponents.
Yeah, they are. And a couple of those are Dardoch's, the solo kill on Impact in the early game. Now a solo kill here on Sneaky, and you got to be careful about that. Being in those side lanes by himself on an Ashe, it's not something that you can really outduel Hecarim on at almost any stage of the game.
Well, we talked about, they're in really long lanes. It's very hard to kind of work with that kind of information and making the right choices based on imperfect information. Dardoch gallops down the lane from Fog of War, and the thing is, he can do that at any time he ever wants to, and C9 lost track of where Dardoch was. They didn't know he was on the bot side of the map, but he was, and Sneaky was snuck up on.
Definitely, and Dardoch could be off to the races. 2-0 start, has the Trinity Force completed. We've seen a lot of snowballed games here from Hecarim's this season, and it can be very, very frightening, but Lorlo up pretty far here. Meteos may look for him. Decides to back off.
Liquid got a 4th kill and is once again down in gold. Like, C9, it's funny, right?
Popped.
Yeah, that popped a little while ago. That popped at the, I think at the 2-for-0 or 3-for-0 mark. I mean, it's definitely part of it, right? Obviously, that's not nothing. 450 gold to this lead is literally just an item he bought that turned into 450 gold. So that's totally relevant. But, we talk about, again, making optimal choice with imperfect information. One thing I like to talk about is expected value as well. What's the chance to get ganked? What's the gold lead I get if I don't? And essentially, C9's plays, expected value-wise, have gone positive. Yes, Impact will at some point die. Sneaky will at some point die. But if I got 600 gold of farm for a 450 gold kill, I made the right choice. Yeah, and this keeps happening.
You certainly can't play perfectly safe, and you can't play in a way where you're never possible to die because you put yourself so far behind that it won't actually matter that you're alive.
It's worse than dying, literally.
It is. Fate worse than death, being a feeder in League of Legends.
Sometimes both happen.
Dardoch's coming in.
The flash engage, they found Sneaky. Bramulti stops Dardoch, and now Ashen as well, but he does not have aggro, so he just ults right back out. The onslaught of shadows, and Impact's in a 1v2, turned back around on by Lorlo, and the chase is in. Another huge mistake now by Impact. The re-engage, though they catch off Matt on the side. A good pickup there thanks to Jensen and Meteos. And now it's Liquid suffering their first death of the game.
And it goes the way of Jensen, who's going to be looking to split push. Has no TP for a while. Phoenix is going to have his a little bit faster as he did cancel that, and Jensen let his complete. But pushing in these side waves, we're going to see Sneaky get over there to collect his. Will Dardoch go for anything? And here it is once again. Smoothie and Sneaky here in the mid lane. Meteos was ready for it. Nice Braum either, blocking a lot of those shots, but then it's the ultimate onto Sneaky. A good disengage there from Smoothie, actually delaying Dardoch to come in, and Impact overreaches, tries to go over, and I think once he went in, he needed to commit for this and try to get Mega. Go for an extra auto, see if you can Mega out, maybe solo out that guy, but on the other side, Jensen does pick up the support kill, and we'll need to get a lot more of that done. Wants to try to look for these picks, especially on squishy characters like the Jhin, like the Karma, and try to get some kills there, and Dardoch actually going very aggressive here. He's looking for a Ghost Blade likely. Could be a
wow. Yeah, Ma is also a possibility, but the only magic damage deal that you care about is the LeBlanc. Certainly enough damage to care about, but yeah, we'll see where it actually goes. Duskblade, you gotta go really hardcore, just full Inori,
Yeah, man. He never ended up completing, unfortunately, bought the BF and just sat on it, but But yeah, I would guess it's actually the Ghostblade. Ghostblade is fantastic for that kind of assassination Hecarim style. There's almost nothing you could do as an Ashe. You charge up the E, you have the Ghostblade active, you get ulted on, the E essentially one-shots you.
And it's always fun to see what players do with their leads. Because Dardoch could have said, I'm just going to go Sight Stone because it's free for me because I have all these kills. So now our team has better vision control. We can play the rotation game. He could say, I'm going to build more damage and hard carry by finding solo kills and finding dives. He could have said, I'm going to be more invincible and make sure that any dive I go for, I can't be killed for it. All my risks are no longer risky. He's going for the I'm going to carry choice and see what he gets out of it.
There are obviously different approaches to it and different ways
oh
to
my
carry,
gosh,
but
the
Sneaky
dive,
gets
the
caught.
damage. Sneaky is already dead. Looks like the Adam choice working out just fine for Dardoch, eviscerating C9's poor AD carry. 0-2 and 1, and they are now finally in what looks like their first meaningful gold lead of this game, 300 only, but now up a turret, up 5 kills. And looking at top lane tier 2 as Lorlo's already prepped that side. Ooh, they actually pulled in Phoenix, but he's going to be okay. Puts on the stun to Meteos. One more shot, I'll do it. Down he goes, 7-1, and Meteos should not have been there. And another one picked up for Liquid.
Yeah, Meteos wanted the outplay there on Phoenix, trying to use the turret as his ally. Jensen split pushing though. C9's going to have to back off. This turret is low, and it's only 2 members here. At the same time, if Jensen can trade a turret, at least keeps the gold pretty close, and he should be able to grab this.
Exactly. By and large, C9 are playing the map pretty well, keeping everything as close as they can. The depth is only 900 for themselves, but Liquid, to their credit, have done such a good job of finding kills and finding the aggressive play and having it work out. They've only given up 1 death all game, and that was in the middle of a team fight where they got a kill and got mid-turret pressure. It's not even a negative trade for them in that case. And if Liquid could get more of that, right, their play style, let's go ham, let's dive, Dardoch hyping it up, diving in, Lorlo on a playmaker like Aurelia who can be part of that. That style works.
Yeah, just even the threat of the dive from Aurelia and Hecarim is going to mean Sneaky is having trouble getting involved in these fights at all. If you step too far forward, you're just going to die right off the bat, and it's so scary, and the engage range from those two champions is very, very far, as Aurelia can Q to a minion, then Q to you. You have to take flash into consideration there, and Dardoch with the ultimate has almost an engage range of a full screen.
And that is a scary thing. Sadly for us, it is going to be Maw.
Okay.
Right, getting the magic resist Hex Blinkers in. No sweet, awesome Yomus, but it means that he can get the best of both worlds. He can make sure that he doesn't get one-shot by Jensen and screw that one up, but also it's still a lot more damage. It's still plenty of threat onto the back line, and risks definitely around. And you can see a lot of Liquid still actually buying magic resist. You have a Spectre's Cowl for Meteos, right? You've got the Aegis coming in for Smoothie. And really, it's just for Phoenix, which is a little strange to me, but that's going to be an arrow on a Fabi. The flash there right away on top of him. Look at the just
Where did he go?
Teamwork.
Freak, there was a Jin there a second ago.
Jensen makes his life bar disappear. The magic trick is complete. Mid-turret answer to look at that. C9 back ahead like nothing ever happened this game. One Ashe arrow was all they needed to turn that right back in.
An impact on the split push. C9 has done a great job manipulating these mini waves. Lorlo may get caught out here.
Jensen's going for the root, and he's gonna get it. Lorlo's flash was light. He's gone. What the heck? Cloud9 looking great in a game they were losing for only a few minutes.
Dardoch wants Sneaky.
You can't 3v5 this. Don't make that kind of choice, and he's not going to. Hey, Jensen. I guess you're okay. It scared me a little bit, but he's fine. And down goes the minion, and 1,200 gold lead Cloud9. There you go. 3 kills to 7. They're winning.
Looking good, and here is the replay once again. Fabi gets nailed,
Bad
and
flash.
no hesitation. Double flash forward,
Everything.
all the ultimates. They wanted that kill. Down goes the Jin. Ouch.
Oh, man. Okay, well, Fabi has respawned. He's going to hope to not die that way again.
Certainly will.
Dardoch smites away the blue. Make sure he gets it for himself. Didn't want to let Meteos or anyone steal it away. That's fine. Liquid, though, not willing to say die, and good for them to go for the aggressive play once more.
Ooh, Jensen.
A nice
Be
tackle.
careful.
Jensen's running out of health and gonna get the snipe. Sneaky blocks some. Smoothie gonna block some more. Phoenix really wants in. Gets exhausted though. Doesn't do quite enough damage. Smoothie's safe for now. In the back line they go. It's gonna be a trade of kills. AD carry for mid laner. Dardoch to hold in the front line, but running out of health pretty rapidly. He's got to kite back on this one. Impact actually helps
Rose
you
Mallet
enough.
is there. They can run down.
Trying the chase, but be careful. He can't become Mega Gnar, so the root's going to be that the chase is in, and Lorlo is a big part of that damage. Liquid come out ahead 2-1.
Impact really kind of overstepped there. As the rest of his team was all leaving, he was going forward, and Liquid sees that there's no one else there. Turn around for a quick and easy kill on Gnar, who is now 0-3.
Yeah, and that is several mistakes from Impact specifically.
And here we have it once again. Look at that early damage. Just the E and a Q is more than half his health there. And then Sneaky, the unfortunate recipient of the Lissandra ult here, going to get just dogpiled on. Does try to flash out, but unfortunately, the Gragas ultimate pushed Dardoch right back on top of him. And they make it a 1-for-1 trade here. And that should have been it. But look, Smoothie's leaving. Mios is Zoom. He's leaving. And Impact just kind of goes back in. And Mios is like, well, I can't really do anything for you.
And one of the big skills, actually, to be a pro player, really any game, is essentially foresight. It's being able to play the battle in your mind, right? Will this guy kill me if he goes in or not, right? Will this work out for me? Yes, no. And Impact, it kind of in several occasions now, this game has kind of lacked the foresight to say, can I kill him? Yes, no. Says yes. The answer is actually no. Dies for it, and he's 0-3. Some of that being from those decisions he's been kind of screwing up.
And it kind of feels a little bit like you kind of get overconfident because you're having all these good games and you're used to being stronger than you are this game. But the arrow catches Dardoch.
Into the layered CC, but not actually layered well enough. The Braum ulti wasn't in range in time. Onslaught of Shadows, smart by Dardoch, says, hey, if that ulti lands, I probably die. That answer is yes, so I have to ult away.
He also has quite a bit of CDR. He gets 20% just from that Trinity Force, so it's not like it's a massive cooldown there. It's only 85 seconds right now. Mountain Dragon going to be coming up pretty soon here, though, and not having it for that can be relatively impactful. You know, if you can't get in there on the team fights. You know, C9 would love to pick up a second mountain here.
Yeah, you mentioned 20 CDR from items. Dardoch is actually at 28.9% thanks to his glyphs, so probably a mix of flat and scaling, and he's got low cooldowns. Mountain Drake goes down. Liquid still suffering through a gold deficit, but they are stacking up some neutral objectives. They've tied the Mountain Drake score down a Cloud Drake, but that's going to be okay for them.
And Dardoch is essentially full assassination build here. Doesn't have Cinderhulk at all.
Oh, wow. Ooh, the knock-in, though, catch them, and because he's squishy, he's down pretty low. Matt's shield helps quite a bit, and it looks like the support is enough to allow him to play this very aggressive build. But you're right, no enchant is in. Meanwhile, Meteos, of course, has his Spirit Visage. Once again, itemized pretty heavily for magic resist.
Yeah, building a GA up now. Maybe a GA here for Impact also. Could be a Thornmail, could be something else, but definitely could be a GA for Meteos. And now second item completed here for Jensen. Picks up a full death cap. So that is going to be really scary for some of these squishy targets. And if he can execute the combo onto Fabi, Fabi's going to have no chance to survive. And C9 trying to set up a pick here, looking if Dardoch's going to get antsy. And here he comes.
Walking around the side. Meteos, oh, he's trying to bait. The team's still around, but Dardoch does not take the bait. Says, where could they be? They could be up there. And they walked in melee, but now Fabi's actually a bit alone, dangling.
Impact holding up Neganar.
Ooh, chunk on a mat, down a half HP. No re-engage yet. Phoenix chooses to wait. Now Impact has the Rage Bar. Asher is going to land it, hits Lorlo, and that's Aurelia flashing away. Impact does not find the engage he wanted, still has ulti. Stunned up, gonna run away, losing health, but gets the stun back on Dardoch and pushes him out. But Impact is out of this fight. The snipe's coming through. Smoothie dangerously low. It looks like Liquid actually holding up the better side of this fight, as C9 now running away with their eponymous Drake.
A very close fight there, but TL does stay alive. And you know, Matt is honestly doing a fantastic job with his shields, absorbing the damage coming in from LeBlanc and not getting picked off. And it's a lot easier said than done as a Karma who's going to be pretty squishy against this two-item LeBlanc.
Definitely some threats to keep in mind. You know, a lot of flat Magic Pen on Jensen. He has the Sword Shoes, and he has the chance to go for Abyssal Scepter whenever he wants it.
Yeah.
And
he will be building towards it.
Yeah. Should be. I actually forget if Abyssal, because I know it has a Fiendish Codex now. Is it Fiendish Codex plus a Blasting Wand, or is it just Fiendish Codex and a Amplifying Tome? I actually forget the build. I don't play mid lane enough.
Yeah, I know there is an answer in it. Yeah, I don't really play mid lane enough.
Yeah. Normally I'm so good at items, I just, because of role selection, I off-roll so much less, I'm not as up-to-date on my solo lane builds. But anyway, it's going to be Dardoch forced to run a nice route on a Meteos. Ash Arrow actually still forced the flash out of Matt. He was afraid of getting picked off by that, and I think for good reason. Meteos could have layered Explosive Cask on top of it. Cloud9 able to take away control of the Baron Pit, though,
and they're pushing him down mid here. Impact has his TP, but he's pretty far away, and Dardoch is looking.
confirmed that Blasting Wand is not part of Missile Scepter. So yeah, he's actually
tier
still
two.
going for that item. Mid lane tier 2 going to go down. It brings the gold close again, and maybe this is the engage they want. Phoenix goes in, Flash Root finds Sneaky. He gets pushed out. Dardock's in, misses the fear though, but he's going to have the damage in order to pick him off. There's a 1-for-1 as Lorlo has also been popped out. Smoothie low on health, doesn't quite get the snipe from Fabi. Jensen wants in, doesn't get the chain on a steed, so with a flash engage comes around by Meteos. The dive again by Smoothie, picks that one up, and now Jensen in a world of hurt, so is Meteos. That should be several kills for Liquid, maybe, as Jensen kites out. Impact helps, and they get the shutdown actually. Meteos, the fancy feat, loses the Guardian Angel. Impact does not have Megadar available though, throws in a house. 2 for 2 so far. Say 3v3 on this fight. Once again, the CC, and they get the pickup. Nicely done. Phoenix goes down, and Fabi is out of mana. He's out of health
They
as
can
well.
chase
The
them all
double
down.
kill.
They're looking for the ace.
C9, beautifully done on the back half of the fight. It started 2 for 2. It's going to be 5 for 2. The chase is there. A triple kill for Jensen. What a team fight.
Jensen playing masterfully there as Sneaky went down right away. It looked like it was going to be a disaster fight for Cloud9, but they were able to pull it off. And Impact, with that frozen mallet chasing people down, and the fact that Lorlo went down means they're actually going to try to start this up. And will they actually know this is going on at all? You can see Lorlo's heading over, and they don't have a lot of damage here just yet, but now the cavalry arrives, they can try to rush it.
Dardock can run as far as he can, but it's not going to be enough. The spike comes through, and that is the Baron picked up for Cloud9 as a result of a very well-played fight.
What a
Spoils
swing.
the war is theirs.
Yeah, here we have it once again. So Impact is super far away. They see him actually clearing a ward, they engage. And Sneaky is going to get jumped on right away. Yes, the fear does miss, but watch how fast he goes down as everyone kind of collapsed on him. It looks like it was going to be a disaster here, but Matt is split from the team, and you're going to see Dardock kind of get sectioned off on the side as he wants to go in and try to take down Jensen. He does get the kill on Smoothie, but Impact comes back. He peels for his mid laner, which is going to pay massive dividends later in this fight. And Meteos even doing a good job here, delaying as long as he can. And even though it's a 2v3, Fabi's essentially out of mana. Phoenix has already blown everything. And the GA on Meteos was just so massive in this fight. The fact that he comes right back up, they're able to kill off Phoenix. And he was the last source of damage. So it's an ace for Cloud9 on the back of a really well-played fight.
And really great fancy feat by Jensen. Juke scram with the distortion, then Flash W's back in once the CC did land thanks to Meteos. Just a really nicely played fight once again by Cloud9's mid laner. Jensen continuing to show that he is a world-class player.
And look at his level. He's 17. He's massively ahead. He's 4 levels up on Lorlo. 2 levels up on the highest other person on TL.
Anywhere in the game.
And I mean, he's massive. He has his full Void Staff completed now. And this guy is going to be fearsome. Magic resist or not, he will pop you if you put yourself in a bad position.
And now it's going to be the quick Inferno trick. Not even a chance for this one. It's going to drop more stats. If Jensen wasn't scary enough, now he's scarier.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Very rough stuff. And he can essentially 1v1 anyone, I would expect, at this point in the game. And the fact that he has the TP and now the Baron buff means that they may be able to try to exploit that. Baron buff up minions in multiple lanes, but C9 looking.
Splits the uprights. 3 points for Sneaky.
Count it.
Yep. But it's Cloud9 holding this game, and it's got to feel a bit bad for Liquid because they had done so well in finding the kills and finding the ganks and whatnot, but they just haven't been playing the map as strategically as C9 has, who continued to hold lead the whole time. Wow. Nearly that was a kill.
And that's the Mikhails used there by Matt. Quick on the draw for there. Wanted to try to keep Fabi up any way possible, but definitely an important cooldown.
Scary thing, so it's going to be gone for a while. The Ruby Sightstone helps a bit, but it's still several minutes away. Impact is split pushing in the bot side of the map, and he has not seemed to suffer too terribly much from the fact that, the matchup wasn't great. Yeah, he got ganked several times. His score certainly didn't look very good, but I never felt like Lorlo really had owned his side of the map as hard. Jensen has to kite away from Dardock, gets away from 1, Snipe gets away from 2. Smoothie jukes the 3rd, I should say. Dardock gets rooted up, the re-engage for Phoenix, into an arrow, into the root, into the damage output, and they're going to just kill him off, not even getting to cast a single spell on that one.
And the TP is in. They've overextended hugely, and this could be the game if they kill them all.
It's already 5v3. Jensen gets away from Lorlo. The flash not going to mean anything. It's just a slaughter now as Cloud9 kicking and screaming and killing everybody. Impact flashes. He's got Fabi in his sights. Hello. Goodbye.
Will Cloud9 risk it and try to go for the end? There's some long res timers here on both Phoenix and Lorlo, and Fabi's about to fall. They're already on the inhibitor. They have the minions coming in here pretty soon. Will they try to make the play?
Well, Baron has timed out, but they've got 20 seconds on most of the major respawns.
They want it.
Looking at it, how much can they get? It's up to Nexus turret number 1. The fear comes in. Dardak, ooh, shuts down Jensen. That's a nice one.
And he clears out the minions, so there's the backdoor defense on that last Nexus turret, and Dardoch may have actually just saved the game.
He might have. They live to fight another day. Goes to kill out Smoothie. Can't look at the damage. That's a shutdown picked off. And Matt, why are you even here? He walks in to get himself killed. A silly mistake. Two more
coming
picked
in
up
from
for
Lorlo.
C9.
They want the fight.
They want the fight, but can they get it? Phoenix self-ults. Guess what? Not enough damage. Lorlo wants Smoothie. Goes for it. Gets the attack and gets it. But it's another kill in for impact. Look at this. It's only Lorlo alive against
Fabi
3
up in
because
1.
they kept just walking in 1 by 1. Now it's a 2 versus 3. They're trying to defend under the Nexus turret. Sneaky flash the way. Lorlo getting CC'd, and he's gonna go down. Another kill picked up. Now the chase in, and it's just the Nexus alive. Fabi cannot stop this curtain call. Not gonna mean anything. Meteos walks in, says, "Don't you dare, I'm a fat man," and knocks it down. A 2-0, 36-minute game for Cloud9.
The start looked a little bit rocky for Cloud9 as they were giving up kills, but they always were making the better macro plays, taking the minions, getting ahead in farm, taking the objectives, and eventually getting the game on the back of an incredible LeBlanc performance here. A blind pick from Jensen, which came up huge.
It really did. Highest damage in the game. His teammate, the Ash, less than 100 behind him, but still, for how scary Liquid's comp looked, right? A lot of very scary divers, snorkel and all. The oxygen tanks were in. They were going deep plenty often. C9 able to withstand all of that, and despite losing kills so constantly, still playing the lanes properly, pushing them out, getting the control they needed, and keeping the gold up despite being down so heavily in champion combat. And once it came down to the right mid-game team fights, they were close. The gold was there, and they outplayed it.
Yeah, and I mean, Sneaky up over 100 CS on Fabi that game. And Fabi was a pretty big non-factor as far as the amount of damage he's able to get out, and he fell behind. Lorlo did not have one of his best games on Aurelia, was not able to kind of use that matchup as you would expect him to be. He was such a good Aurelia player, and Liquid has had a rough weekend, 0-2 this week, and that's going into playoffs, and it's not the kind of performance you want to come out from when you're going to be going up against CLG.
Certainly not, but CLG even themselves haven't been the most consistent picture of performance. You keep in mind, they